Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting up to speed on complex topics. Today, we're really digging into CMMC readiness, specifically for defense industrial-based contractors. We've gathered some key lessons from those early CMMC gap assessments. Our mission, really, is to pull out what people are learning the hard way, hopefully saving you some headaches down the line. And it sounds like there are some surprises, even for companies that felt pretty prepared.
Oh, absolutely. These aren't just, paper exercises anymore. A lot of contractors are well into the process of finding their cybersecurity gaps. And the real-world lessons coming out of that, they're proving incredibly valuable for anyone else starting the certification journey.
Okay, so let's dive right in. There's a big one right off the bat, isn't there? You'd assume having policies written down is, well, maybe not easy, but straightforward. But these early assessments show that's not quite right. Written policies aren't enough.
Yeah, it's a classic trap, honestly. What's really striking is companies often do have good policies documented, but the C3PAOs, the auditors, they're trained to look way beyond just reading your system security plan, your SSP. They want proof. They're asking, show me this is actually happening, which means, consistent training for staff, proof that procedures are followed, practices that match the policy. It's all about closing that gap between saying what you do and showing what you actually do.
Right, it's demonstration, not just declaration. Makes sense. And speaking of demonstrating things, these assessments are uncovering some pretty serious practical hurdles, too, like evidence collection is a heavy lift. People are finding this takes way more effort than expected.
It really is. For many, it feels like a huge excavation project. You need screenshots, system logs, who attended which training, vendor contracts. The list goes on. The sheer amount and the level of detail needed can be, well, pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
So the key advice here is simple. Start an evidence locker early, like right now. Attach the proof to the controls as you go. Don't wait until the audit is looming.
Okay, good advice. And then there's the strategic piece where mistakes get costly fast. Scoping makes or breaks compliance. Getting that boundary wrong seems to be a recurring theme.
It absolutely is. It trips up even companies with the best intentions.
Yeah.
We're seeing folks either scope too broadly, which just drives up cost and effort for no reason, or maybe worse, they underscope. They leave out systems where CUI, that controlled unclassified information, is actually flowing, which is a huge red flag.
So precision is key there.
Total precision.
Yeah.
You have to meticulously map your data flow, know exactly where FCI and CUI live, where they're processed, where they travel, and crucially, you need to document why you drew the boundary where you did.
Yeah.
Auditors need that clear, defensible rationale. Getting scoping wrong means you're either wasting money or heading for a failed assessment. Simple as that.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit from the technical side to the human side. Another big lesson seems to be that culture drives success. It sounds like treating CMMC as just an IT problem is a recipe for struggle.
That's exactly what we're seeing. It's really quite transformative when you look at it. The companies making the fastest, most solid progress, they're the ones treating CMMC as like an all-hands responsibility. It involves leadership, setting the tone, HR being involved, operations, even key suppliers and vendors. It's about weaving compliance into how the company actually operates, not just ticking IT boxes.
Right, making it part of the organizational DNA, almost. Now, let's tackle a common misunderstanding. PONMs have limits. These plans of action and milestones. People sometimes think of them as a get-out-of-jail-free card, but that's not the case here, is it?
Not at all. They're definitely not a long-term crutch. Under CMMC, the rules are much tighter. Only certain very specific things can go onto a POANM, and they come with strict deadlines for fixing them, usually 180 days. The whole point is to fix the gaps before the official audit. You can't rely on POANMs to pass the assessment itself. It's about being ready, not deferring the work.
Okay, that's a critical clarification. So bringing it all together, what's the big picture lesson from these early CMMC gap assessments? It seems pretty clear. Readiness takes, well, a lot more time and focused effort than many contractors thought. Starting early, documenting everything meticulously, and really building that company-wide culture of compliance, those seem to be the keys.
Exactly. And, these gap assessments, they shouldn't just be seen as a hurdle to jump over. They're actually a huge strategic opportunity, a chance to genuinely strengthen your cybersecurity, which in the end makes you a stronger, more trusted partner in the whole DoD supply chain. It's a business benefit, really.
That's a great final thought. So for everyone listening, take a moment, think about how these lessons learned the hard way by others might apply to you. It goes beyond just CMMC compliance. It's really about building a truly resilient cybersecurity foundation.